So I'm a really good little Catholic girl until I get to college, and I decide that I would rather get laid than come to Jesus. The problem is, because I'm Catholic, I have to justify losing my virginity. So I fall in love with a poet who has no interest in me whatsoever. But I'm whining and whining and whining about my virginity. And I find out many years later that my roommates pay this guy to sleep with me, just to shut me up. So a couple years later, I'm about 23, and I fall in love, like for real, with this guy who's a graduate student. And we're living together, and we're having a great time. And then he decides that he is going to take a job with a new company. We didn't have the word startup at the time. A new company called Microsoft. He goes off to California. I am heartbroken. So it takes a couple years and some other relationships later when I fall in love again with a guy who lives in D.C. So I moved from Pittsburgh, where I have lived my entire life, and I moved to D.C. to live with him, and his name is Dave. And we are also having a really good time together, and 3 years goes by, and I'm almost 30, and I am starting to say, I want to get married, I want to have children, what is up with you? Why aren't we doing this? And finally, he goes out and gets a vasectomy without telling me, which works. Shut me up. So, so now I'm really like failing at the love forever after game. Like, I'm really sure that I'm failing at it. And this one night, I am laying in bed, and I've just moved in with a new roommate, and I'm in bed, and I'm feeling really sad and really down, and I decide that I'm going to tap into my inner Catholic again, and I start to pray. Oh God, please send me a good man. I mean, a really good man. I want someone who I can just love and be with forever. And if you don't want to do that, I will become a nun, and that's okay. So I've made this deal with God, right? And then I forget about it. Well, a couple weeks later, I'm lying on the couch, and I'm watching Dynasty. And, and my housemate says, I'm going to have a friend come over, and we're going to go to the movies together. And I say, okay. So I'm lying there, and this guy comes in, and I look up, and I immediately go like, oh my God, it's him. Followed by, that is impossible. That is like bullshit. That cannot be possible. So it is not him. But I have this like, it's him. Plus, I really like the way he looks, He's like tall and bearded, and he's wearing a flannel shirt and blue jeans, and, he's just really cute, and he comes over and shakes my hand, and then he sits down, and he and my roommate are talking about the campaign that he was just working on in Colorado, where he was trying to either defeat or promote the mineral mining tax, and I don't understand it at all, but I know he's upset that it didn't pass, so I'm like nodding and smiling. So he invites me to come to the movies with them, which I don't know how the roommate feels about it, but I'm happy. So we go to the movies, and it's this really weird movie called Eating Raoul, in which this couple decides that they are going to murder swingers who live in their building and occasionally eat one of them. Great first date, right? So we, of course, are hungry after the movie. So we go to a pizza place, the three of us, and we're talking, and mainly he and I are talking. And, the night ends, and then a couple days later, I call him, and I say, would you like to go to the theater with me? Because I'm doing theater reviews at the time. So he says, yes. We go to the theater. We come back. He kisses me on the doorstep. I'm like, wow, right? Wow. So over the next few weeks, we do dinner in, we do dinner out, we go cross-country skiing on the mall. We just do all this fun stuff together. We're having a great time, and we're hot for each other, which is also really helpful. And he even takes me down to meet his parents, who are lovely people, and his sister tells me that the entire extended family is so excited to learn about me, and they're really excited to meet me someday. And I'm like, wow, this is really different. So then I say to him, would you like to come home with me to Pittsburgh for Christmas? And he says, yes. I'm like, whoa. So I go home a few days before he's going to come to Pittsburgh, and I'm sitting around the dinner table with my 6 brothers and sisters and my parents and a couple of spouses and even some little kids. And I'm trying to be really casual about it. And I say, oh, by the way, I have invited this guy that I'm dating to come to Christmas dinner. What? Oh my God, we gave up on you a long time ago. You know, who is he? What does he look like? What does he do? Does he have a job? Most of all, my brother stands up and says, my youngest brother, most important question, does he like the Steelers? Like, I don't know that, you know, but really, you know, it's okay. He's just a guy. He's just a guy. But Christmas morning, he calls and he says he has the flu and he can't come. And I'm really super disappointed. But I say, you know what? It's a long drive. You don't feel well. Don't come. It's fine. About an hour later, I get a call back and he says, I'm coming. I'm like, okay. So he drives to Pittsburgh. He comes in. He's looking a little peaked, you know, and he sits down, and we're all sitting in the living room, and we're smelling turkey, and we're watching football. And my youngest brother goes down the basement to get some pop, and we hear him yell up, oh my God, the toilet overflowed. It's all over the floor. My father jumps up. My brothers jump up. They all run downstairs. Dan gets up, and I say, you don't have to go down there. He says, yeah, it's fine. You know, maybe I can be helpful. So he goes down. So the women are all upstairs, right, trying to hold off dinner, and we're like listening to them like run water and do plunger things and an electric snake thing. You know, it's all going on for like a couple of hours. They're down there. Finally, they get it all cleaned up. We take clothes down to them. They take showers. They come back up. We're sitting at the dining room table together, finally having dinner, and I look over the mashed potatoes at this man, and I say, Catherine, this man drove 5 hours through the snow to be with you here on Christmas Day, and he has spent the last 2 hours standing in your family shit. What is not to love? So this Christmas, it will be our 35th consecutive Christmas in Pittsburgh. And he really does not like to think of himself as my gift from God, but he totally is.